And we are back for our MLB Best Bets here on the channel for June 28th. Hotel setup for the next 2 nights. I am in Anaheim. Just got to watch the Nationals put up 15 runs on the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. I'll get to that at the end of the video. But yes, 5 best bets today for June 28th here with the MLB. Before we get into the video, folks, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily MLB Best Bets here on the channel. Later today is Ilia Topuria and Charles Oliveira in the main event for UFC's International Fight Week from Las Vegas, Nevada. That full card predictions video is linked in the description down below. Go check that out. Again, on Greedo Plays MMA, we're like 65 subs away from 1,000, so let's make that happen as soon as possible. Again, link in the description down below. As we move on now to our MLB Best Bets, I did remember last week to put the timestamps for one of the hotel videos, so I should remember again today. So there should be timestamps because there's no graphics today. There should be timestamps throughout the video for each individual bet. Okay, let's start things off with our early game. Normally, guys, I don't play run lines, and very rarely do I play run lines for the team that's favored and the team that's at home. Just because if you're taking a -1.5 at home, it's just a lot has to go your way because you're hoping and really ideally that the team you're picking to win has to score more than, has to win by 2 through 8 innings. I got that long convoluted thing out the way. We're taking the New York Yankees to cover 1.5 against the Sacramento Athletics. Again, I don't love doing this, but in this spot, I am going to do it. Okay, guys? The Yankees, in their wins, their last 5 wins have all been by more than 1 run. The game that they played yesterday against the Athletics, a 3-0 victory for the Yankees, and the A's right now are struggling to score. They've been shut out in 3 out of their last 5 games. They've scored 7 runs in their last 5 outings, and they've been shut out in back-to-back games to close that series in Detroit and yesterday in the Bronx as well. On top of that, the Yankees sent Clark Schmidt to the mound. I'll get to Schmidt in a second, but he's been electric for New York over his last 3 starts. Yesterday, I witnessed the A's get shut down and shut out by Will Warren. The A's bats, we've said it before with this team, I mean, it's really just the top 3 guys, and sure, you're going to get production out of Kurtz and Soderstrom given or dependent on the day, but really, you're scared about Lawrence Butler, you're really concerned about Jacob Wilson, who's batting .340, and then Brent Rooker as well in the 3 spot. After those 3 guys, my goodness, does that team fall off a cliff. Again, yes, you will see production out of Kurtz and out of Soderstrom, but man, I mean, that's not an everyday thing out of those guys. Sure, they're power threats, but not something that you're consistently scared of. Bottom of the lineup, my goodness, it's weak. You're going to get the Gio Urshela's, the JJ Bledays, the Denzel Clarks, the Max Schumans. Just not a lineup we're all that concerned about at the bottom of it. On paper, obviously, the Yankees are the much better team. Yesterday, New York wins 3-0. They only had 4 hits in that game, but Jazz Chisholm gets a home run, and I believe in his 500th career game it was. Cody Bellinger with an RBI knock. DJ LeMahieu with an RBI infield single as well. The other main reason, though, not just the bats are the reason why we're going with the Yankees today. I gotta take a look at the pitching matchup here. JP Sears and Clark Schmidt. JP Sears, a lefty throwing against the Yankees. Again, that should be feast time for Aaron Judge. It should be, a mauling for Paul Goldschmidt. The righties in this Yankees lineup should feast. Giancarlo Stanton should hit a moonshot 500 feet against this guy. On top of that, Clark Schmidt's been really good. 2.84 ERA so far in the season for Schmidt, but my goodness, let's just talk about his month of June so far, okay? He had a bad first start of the month against the Cleveland Guardians, but since then, he is locked in. He has pitched 20 innings since that Guardian start, and he's given us 20 shutout innings. Yep, against the Royals, 6 innings, 2 hits, 0 runs. Against the Angels, 7 2/3, 4 hits, 0 runs. Against the Orioles, 7 innings, 0 hits, 0 runs. Yes, Clark Schmidt's been that good recently. I gotta give the guy a lot of credit. Hell, that Angels start he had back at the end of May, 6 innings, 4 hits, 0 runs. So out of 4 out of his last 5 starts, he has pitched shutouts for the Yankees. The ERA so far in the month of June is 1.03. You take away the Guardian start, the ERA is 0 over 20 innings. And sure, again, do we expect that to continue? No, I think he's going to give up a run today. I hope he pitches a shutout again. I don't think that's going to happen. But I expect, again, maybe 1-2 runs scored by the Athletics. And then when I look at who's starting for the A's, JP Sears with a 5.44 ERA. I don't think this translates well to Yankee Stadium. If you're not pitching well in Sacramento at Sutter Health Park, I know the ball will fly there a little bit more than it's going to, obviously, in the Bronx. But if you don't pitch well there, you're not going to pitch well in New York either. It's just the way both those fields are configured. They're kind of the same for the most part. JP Sears had an ERA of 8.37 in the month of May, 6.08 in the month of June so far. He hasn't been good. It's that simple. And I expect the big bats in this Yankees lineup to really dominate. And again, I'm looking at the righties, obviously, to abuse the lefty-righty matchup. I'm looking at a Paul Goldschmidt. I'm looking at an Aaron Judge. I'm looking at a Giancarlo Stanton. Those are the guys who should really dominate here. Maybe Volpe, too. I hope. I don't know. But those guys should really take advantage of JP Sears, and of course, I assume we're going to get some production out of a Cody Bellinger, out of a Jazz Chisholm. So -1.5 today for the Yankees is at -120, -125-ish, around that range. I'm okay with it. Again, I barely play run lines, but in a spot like this, I really do like it. The A's are ice cold to play right now. Clark Schmidt's been phenomenal. It's at Yankee Stadium. The Yankees bats, again, we know how dangerous they can be. Obviously, Judge the best player in the sport. And you look at JP Sears, who's really struggled since, since April. Yeah, I don't like this at all for the Athletics. I'm taking the Yankees -1.5. The A's haven't scored a run in over 18 innings. Give me the Yankees to win at home and cover the 1.5 runs as well. Okay, let's move on to our second money line of the day. Yesterday, I'll just be honest, bad read on the Mariners-Rangers. I don't think it was a bad read. We just caught a bad break in extra innings. I mean, really, it is what it is. It happened. The Mariners win. I'm taking them now today to beat the Rangers. I'm going to switch sides. Yesterday we had Texas. Evaldi, it is what it is. I know, again, I took a chance on Evaldi going on his first game back from injury. I don't think he was that bad. I thought he was fine. Given the circumstances, again, I would have liked a little bit better out of him. But I mean, Logan Gilbert went 5 innings, gave up 4 runs. Evaldi went 3 innings, 3 runs. It is what it is. The Rangers bullpen wasn't horrible either. They just lost 7-6. It was Master Boney, right? Yeah, Master Boney in the 12th inning put the Mariners over the top. Anyways, I'm taking Seattle here, not because of the game yesterday. Again, Seattle's lineup proved me wrong. I didn't think they were going to be able to hit that well off of Evaldi. And I always say it with this team too, if Julio Rodriguez gets going, they're dangerous. And that's exactly what happened yesterday. I mean, J-Rod goes 3 for 5. That's all the difference in that game. Because when Cal Raleigh is going 1 for 3, when the Rangers are putting him on the base paths 3 times just via walks, you need production elsewhere, other than Crawford, who we know is going to show up, right? Rosarena will swing out of his ass. That's just what he does. And sometimes he'll get lucky and mash one. Jorge Polanco has not been a consistent force for this team. You need a guy like Julio Rodriguez, who you're paying the big bucks to. You need that guy to go out there and show up. Pitching matchup today, one that heavily favors Seattle in my opinion. I like going with Brian Wu. I think Wu's really good. He's had his bad starts this season, but for the most part, he's been really good. 3.12 ERA. Coming off 2 really good starts against the Boston Red Sox on the 17th. It's an 8-0 victory for the Mariners. Wu goes 7 innings, 1 hit, 0 runs. Next start and his last start on Monday against the Minnesota Twins, 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs. That's good stuff out of Brian Wu, okay? Wu's got really good stuff, and he's able to go deep in games. Pitching today for Texas is Kumar Rocker, the former Vandy product. Yeah, Rocker hasn't been good yet. He hasn't this season. Rocker's 25. The month of June for him has been better, but he's pitched against Chicago and Pittsburgh, and that's really why the ERA is where it's at when he faced a competent lineup, the Tampa Bay Rays, who we're not going to talk about them yesterday. They went up 5-0. I was like, all right. I was on my drive to Anaheim. I see they're up 5-0. I'm like, all right, we're good. Because again, the game's on Apple TV, couldn't watch. And then all of a sudden I see they're up 7-5 and then they're down 11-7. It's just ridiculous. Anyways, when Kumar Rocker had to pitch against the Rays, though, he goes 3 1/3, 6 hits, 5 runs. And then he pitches against crappy teams. Sure, he's going to do well. Against the White Sox, 5 innings, 4 hits, 0 runs. Pittsburgh on the road at PNC Park, 5 1/3, 5 hits, 2 runs. That's great. ERA's down to 4.61 now in the month of June. But in the month of April, he was really bad. I mean, that start against the Athletics, my goodness. I know that was pre-injury, and the injury obviously happened with that A's game. But I mean, my goodness, his last start before the injury, 1 2/3, 7 hits, 5 runs. The ERA is up to 8 prior to the Kumar Rocker injury. It's now down to 6.68. I'm going to make the case he still hasn't been great since his return. He's forcing... he's getting outs. I'll give him that. In the Pirates and White Sox starts, I just think it's a whole other monster when the Mariners are playing well. When they're not, obviously, then they will look like the Pirates and White Sox. So it's just a day-to-day thing with Seattle. I did like what I saw yesterday, though, because I have some confidence in this team now that I saw, okay, Cal Raleigh did not really have that big of a factor in the game. Obviously, I need to correct myself there. He did have a big factor because Texas was forced to put him on the base paths pretty much at all points in that game, obviously, because they were scared to pitch to him in big moments. However, when J-Rod's contributing, when JP Crawford's, when JP Crawford's doing his thing, again, the big one is Julio Rodriguez. When those guys at the top of the lineup are contributing, when you're getting a guy like Brandon Williamson lower in the lineup who has 2 hits, then that's when the Mariners are scary. Because, again, we know what their bullpen's going to bring, right? We know what Andres Munoz can do. We know what those, high leverage bullpen arms can do for Seattle. We know what the pitching rotation can do. Obviously, we know what Brian Wu can do. If those guys are all putting it together, this is a scary team. A team that, on paper, should be much better than the Houston Astros. I know Houston's having their run right now, but if the Mariners do play good baseball for the rest of the season, one would think they'd win the AL West over Houston. Will they? I'll be honest, probably not. But just because I know how Seattle Mariners baseball works, we'll see, though. The Rangers, though, yesterday, not a bad outing, Corey Seager goes yard. Haggerty's got a good game. Semien goes 1 for 6. Adolis Garcia, 1 for 5 with 3 RBI. I just don't depend on... I would never depend on the Rangers against Brian Wu in a spot like this. They scored 6 runs yesterday. The Rangers offense, I don't think they bounce back and have a good game today. I think that was kind of a fluke series in Baltimore. So I'm going Seattle here. Mariners money line is at -135 in the spot against the Texas Rangers. I do like it. Going Mariners here on the road to win the first 2 games here at Globe Life Field in Arlington. We move on now to our third best bet of the video. It's our NRFI of the day. And yes, we're taking kind of a risk with this, but I'll explain why I like it a lot. Let's go to Kauffman Field, Kauffman Stadium. Still don't know which one it is. I believe it's Stadium. Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. The Los Angeles Dodgers and the Kansas City Royals NRFI. Okay, I get it. Dodgers NRFIs are tough. They really are. Because you know what the top of the order is going to bring you every single game. Shohei, Betts, Freeman, Smith. A combination of Teoscar, Pages, and Muncy. We're not really... If it gets to Muncy, the inning's already over for us. So those guys are always difficult. I understand that. Seth Lugo has been tasked with dealing with this. Seth Lugo has been really good. I think Lugo's going to get traded at the deadline. He's 35 years of age. I don't know what the Royals are really up to at this point, just because they're not really winning baseball games. And do you really keep a 35-year-old on your team if you're not going to be in the playoffs this season? I don't know. Again, the wild card keeps everybody around. But anyways, Seth Lugo in the month of June is a 1.57 ERA. Okay, we've seen him against good lineups before at home. He faced the New York Yankees. He went 5 2/3 innings, only gave up 2 hits and 0 runs. In the limited innings that Lugo's going to pitch, again, Maxey will probably go 6. In those 6 innings, Seth Lugo's going to give you a good start, okay? And Seth Lugo's probably not giving up more than 2 runs. We just need him to get by the first inning. Again, there isn't a tougher task there is not a tougher lineup to deal with in the first inning. There's not. There isn't, right? I think the Padres are great. Again, they weren't yesterday. Anyways, I think the Padres are tough to deal with. I think the Yankees are extremely tough to deal with. I think the Washington Nationals, their top 3 guys are actually really tough to deal with as well. Obviously not on the same level. I think the Phillies, when Harper is back, are really tough to deal with. Even the Braves, the toughest team to deal with, those Los Angeles Dodgers. I'm not going to deny that. Again, Ohtani, Betts, Freeman. And then, you get by those guys, or you put one guy on, okay, here comes Will Smith, who's batting .330. It's difficult, but Seth Lugo's been really good this season. And I'm going to ride it out with Seth Lugo here. He's got a 2.93 ERA. That's 21st best in all of baseball right now. I'm okay with that. Flip side, who's pitching for the Dodgers? It is Shohei Ohtani. So Ohtani gets the ball in the bottom of the first. I actually think we're fine here with Ohtani. Okay, Ohtani's the easier part of this. And that's why I'm surprised that NRFI's plus 100 here. Normally, again, we try to stay away from, the underdog plays here on the NRFI, but I'm going to go with it today. Because, again, I like what we've seen out of Lugo. He's been good so far this month, and we saw him manage with the Yankees. I get it. That was kind of part of the Yankees' cold spell. But I think Lugo's been all right. Now, don't get me wrong. The much more difficult part of this NRFI comes in the top half of the first inning. If we get to the bottom of the inning, I think we're fine. I know there are still question marks around Ohtani. Ohtani's second start was a lot better than his first. Will Ohtani make that jump and pitch the 2 innings today? My guess is probably no. I think he's probably going to continue to just go 1, and maybe his next one after this, he'll go 2 innings. But, I was in person. I was in the crowd for his last start against the Washington Nationals. Very efficient, 2 strikeouts, saw 4 batters. Really should have only seen 3 because Mookie Betts dropped a James Wood pop-out. It was a routine play. Mookie just dropped it. Ohtani's looking good. Velo's there. Movement's there on his slider. Yeah, Ohtani's pretty damn good. I mean, I don't know what you want me to say about Ohtani. You know, not a big Dodgers guy. I actually hate the Los Angeles Dodgers. But Shohei Ohtani is, you know, the best player in baseball. For as much as that pains me to say, and I will give that credit to Aaron Judge a lot. I think Aaron Judge is the best hitter in the game. I think James Wood's right there. As much as I do hype up James Wood, like Aaron Judge is the best hitter in baseball. The best overall player in baseball, though, is Ohtani. Don't get me wrong. He looked much better in the Nats start. The Padres start got squeezed in the first inning, let's be honest, and there aren't many tougher lineups you're going to deal with again than Arise, Tatis, Machado, and Merrill. Merrill might have still been... No, Merrill wasn't hurt yet. Yeah, no, Merrill might have been hurt that story. But it doesn't matter. Like, I mean, those guys are very tough to deal with, you know? Was Merrill playing that game? I don't remember. Anyways, there's no fear with the Royals. Kansas City scored yesterday. Good for them, right? Close game that they played at home against the Dodgers, right? I mean, that's just, I guess, what hosting the Dodgers is going to do. You know, teams, when the Dodgers go on the road and play teams, we saw this with the Rockies. I know the Dodgers, I think, swept the Rockies. I'm pretty sure they did. But even in those games, like the Rockies did play competitive ball for the first half of the games because when you play the Dodgers, when you host the Dodgers, you rise to the occasion for the most part, right? Teams, it's like when teams go into crypto and play the Lakers, right? Like, everyone wants to go in there and beat the Lakers. Same thing with the Dodgers applies. That's just kind of the level that they're on. Obviously, again, the Dodgers this season are much better than what the 2024-2025 Los Angeles Lakers were. But, again, you get my point, though, right? Ohtani, LeBron, like the two biggest stars of the sport, you're going to rise to the occasion when you play those guys, and especially when you're hosting those guys. I know 2 runs were scored yesterday in the first inning between these two teams. Ohtani 1 yard, Salvi Perez had an RBI single. Again, pitching matchups just different today. It was Dustin May and Noah Cameron. Obviously, Cameron's better than May. I would never pick the NRFI in that spot. I will here. Again, I think Ohtani's going to be fine. I'm not scared of the Royals lineup at all. I'm just not, okay? I know, again, they scored yesterday. They had 11 hits yesterday. Not scared of them. Bobby Witt concerns me a little bit. 1 yard yesterday. Michael Garcia, I don't care. I'm taking Ohtani. I'm taking a guy who's looked good in the 2 innings he's pitched so far. Again, I'm not scared. I'm not concerned about the Padres start. Got squeezed, and that's a tough lineup. So I'm okay with this. NRFI here in Kansas City, Missouri, between the Dodgers and the Royals. Plus 100 Shohei Ohtani and Seth Lugo get it done for us again. Don't get me wrong. The much tougher part of this is in the top of the first, but if we get past that, I think Ohtani's going to take us home. So let's go plus 100 for the NRFI. Maybe Ohtani's got money on this as well. So let's go Shohei. On to our 4th best bet of the video. Ronald Acuna Jr. on the over 1.5 total bases against the Philadelphia Phillies. So yesterday, just let's call it what it is, an embarrassing performance by the Atlanta Braves at home against the Phillies. Embarrassing. 13-0 loss against the Phils at your own home ballpark. Phillies up 11-0 at the end of the 3rd inning, or at the end of the top of the 3rd inning. Crazy stuff, you know? And this is a lineup that still does not have Bryce Harper. Trey Turner homered twice. Just an amazing all-around game for Philadelphia. Yeah, I think the Braves kind of have to do something today, right? You would think. And Ronald Acuna has hit very well against Jesus Luzardo in the past. This is a guy who I believe is batting .300 against Luzardo in his career. So I would expect him to get on base multiple times. Luzardo really struggled a couple weeks ago. He hasn't been as bad recently. Again, not at the level I think that the Phillies are expecting him to be at, but his last start against the Mets was incredible. And again, that was the prime of the Mets cold streak as well. But Luzardo on that start goes 6 2/3 innings, 3 hits, 0 runs. He was really rough, though, to end the month of May and early June as well. He ended the month of May going 3 1/3 against the Brewers, 12 hits, 12 runs. That was just a disgusting start. The Blue Jays start was really bad as well. 2 1/3, 9 hits, 8 runs. Bounced back against the Cubs, had a bad start against the Marlins, and then had a good start against the Mets. I think Luzardo's going to be fine, don't get me wrong. Like, I think, again, he's a prominent, member, obviously, of this Philadelphia rotation for the long haul. I just need one player to perform today, okay? I just need one player to perform. Acuna got pulled from yesterday's game early. Team was down by 1 million runs. I'd expect Acuna to be fine. Just got announced to be in the home run derby. I think Acuna, a guy who's gone his last 3 or 4 without recording a hit, he's due for some bounce back here. Acuna, again, a 300 hitter this season, give or take, 366, excuse me, my goodness. Yeah, one of the best hitters in baseball is not going to go 4 or 5 games without recording 2 bases. Actually, he's not going to go 5 consecutive games without recording 2 bases. Again, in the limited sample size that Acuna has played this season, he has 9 home runs. He is a immediate power threat every single time he walks into the box. Obviously, again, as well, with Acuna, and this is why I like going Acuna, and, guys obviously at the top of the order, but especially a guy like Acuna, he bats leadoff. So, again, he's going to get the maximum amount of plate appearances in this game. Righty-lefty matchup as well. Career-wise, Acuna versus Luzardo, I can find it real quick. It's favorable to Ronald Acuna. I think the only guy in the Braves that has a better matchup career-wise against Luzardo is Marcell Ozuna, but I don't really trust Ozuna from the Braves right now, I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah, Acuna, it's only 3 for 10, but still, a 300 hitter against Luzardo, and the way Luzardo's been pitching recently, and the way that Acuna's been hitting recently, yeah, a lot really for us favors Ronald. I think he's going to come through here. I hope it's a home run. It could be an extra base knock, or 2 singles will do it as well. But I do think Acuna is going to maximize his appearances at the plate today, and I do think he's going to work. He's going to work some good counts. And I think he's going to put the ball in play and put the ball in play hard against Jesus Luzardo here, a guy who has struggled a little bit recently. I know his last start was good, but that was the Mets, and the Mets. New York is going to have their games where they score 10 runs, they look like the best team in baseball, and then they'll have games like yesterday. Okay, so that's just what the Mets are. I'm not too concerned here. The Braves are due for a good game. They got bitch slapped their last 2 games at Citi Field. They got bitched yesterday. Show some damn self-respect. And honestly, that self-respect that the Braves need to get back starts and ends with Ronald Acuna. Not like he's playing poorly. It's just that team's going to get going. It's going to be because of Acuna. So, give me Ronald Acuna over 1.5 total bases here at home at Truist Park. It is -120 on the line today. Our final best bet of the video is our Washington Nationals best bet. Yesterday we had the over on the team total runs for the Nationals. It was 3.5. That got finished in the 3rd inning yesterday for the Nationals. 4th inning, excuse me. Honestly, maybe one of the best Washington Nationals games I've ever been to in person. I'll get to that later. But Nats win 15-9. Again, hit the team total over pretty quickly. The best bet today is Nationals money line. I know what you're thinking. Oh, Nats to win 2 straight games? Like, where have we seen this before, The last series they played against the Padres looked really good in game 1, ended up dropping the second 2 games. That's fair. I expect a lot of runs to be scored today. I told you again yesterday there was going to be a lot of runs scored. I said it was going to be the highest scoring game of the slate yesterday. It wasn't, because the Rays decided to score, or let the Orioles score 22 runs on them. Anyways, the pitching matchup tonight really favors the Nationals. I don't care. Kyle Hendricks technically has a better ERA than Mike Soroka. Guys, Mike Soroka is really good, and Mike Soroka is the 2nd best pitcher on the Nationals. I know that doesn't mean much. I witnessed Jake Irvin give up, 8 runs yesterday? That was bad. Nationals still won. It's fine. Soroka's pretty clearly our 2nd best starter. It's getting to the point where I want the Nationals to extend Soroka. Again, he has played his way into trade possibilities, and he will, there are going to be teams that are going to want to go out and acquire Mike Soroka at the deadline this year. I want the Nats to re-sign the guy. I think he's continued to look better and better since coming off that injury he suffered in his first start in Canada to start the year. Soroka's at a 5.06 ERA, but again, his last start against the Dodgers, he goes 5 1/3 innings, 5 1/3 innings, doesn't give up a run, gets pulled with the bases loaded. Again, yes, he worked himself into that jam, and then Jose Ferrer gives up a grand slam. So again, was Soroka going to give up those runs? I don't know. Was he going to let Muncy, though, hit a grand slam off him in Los Angeles? Maybe not. Probably not. I think Soroka's been really good. He is extremely unlucky. His expected ERA is about 3, and it's 5. Soroka has been great in terms of getting strikeouts. His last 2 starts, 19 combined Ks, 10 against the Dodgers, 9 against the Rockies. Again, Soroka's been very good for the Washington Nationals this season, and I expect him to be good tonight against the Angels. And we're going to need a Herculean-type effort tonight because the way the Angels are hitting the ball. I know they cooled off when Brad Lord came in there and shut them down in the 7th inning yesterday, but the way the Angels hit, Joe Adell's the hottest hitter in baseball. Mike Trout's always a problem. Nolan Shawnewell went yard yesterday as well. I mean, yes, we are going to need Soroka to shut them down. I think he's going to. On the flip side, Kyle Hendricks pitching for the Angels. 5 ERA for Hendricks. The righty out of Newport Beach, California. He has been severely underwhelming so far in his stint with the Los Angeles Angels this season. He's been better so far in the month of June, primarily just because of that really good start in the Bronx against the Yankees, where he went 6 shutout innings. His last start, though, at home against the Astros got blown up. 5 innings, 8 hits, 5 runs. Teams are going to get hits off of Kyle Hendricks. And the Nats, it's all about for the Nationals, it's all about hitting the ball hard. And that's what they did yesterday, time in and time out. Again, I'll get to that full game in a second here. But it's a righty on the mound for the Angels. The Nats are killing right-handed pitching right now, for the most part. I know, again, just 2 days ago I called them an embarrassment, but I look at what they did yesterday. Abrams. See, the thing is, with the Nats, you always look at their top 3 guys and they're dangerous. Abrams, Wood, Garcia. We have days like yesterday where Nathaniel Lowe's contributing, and then Josh Bell, who's batting like 270 in the last month, is contributing. They're a problem. So again, I gotta give so much credit to Josh Bell. But Nats win yesterday, and I think they're able to put a lot together today against Kyle Hendricks and the Angels. Again, I just like the matchup. It's an old righty in the mound for the Angels who's been blown up before. Both bullpens are going to be taxed. I'll make the case. Actually, I can't say the Nationals bullpen's less taxed because we used Lord and Henry yesterday. But still haven't used Kyle Finnegan. You can make the same case. Jansen hasn't been used for the Angels yet. I like the Nats, though, to win. It's plus money, so I'm going to take it. Plus 110 for the Nationals to win after their win yesterday. And yesterday, I mean, I'm glad I went, I'm glad I didn't cancel my trip to Anaheim this week. I decided to go through with it. And the Nationals, I would say, I think it was the best Nationals win of the season. I think it was. A 15-9 win for the Washington Nationals. Did I like the fact that Jake Irvin gave up 9 runs? No, I didn't. But the fact of the matter is that the Nationals continue to put runs on the board against the Angels. From the 4th to the 9th innings, the Nationals scored at least 1 run in every single one of those innings. The only 2 innings they didn't score a run was the 1st and the 3rd. I mean, an insane night for the Washington Nationals. 19 hits and 15 runs for the Nats. Everyone on the team contributed with a base knock. And yes, that includes Riley Adams, who came into the day batting 103. That includes Josh Bell, who again is one of the hottest hitters in baseball right now from the left side of the plate. He got the scoring started in the 2nd inning. I mean, teams are scared to pitch to James Wood. He got walked 3 times yesterday. He's 22 years of age, and teams are already scared of him. CJ Abrams is slapping the ball everywhere. He had 3 hits. Luis Garcia's hitting the ball hard. Nathaniel Lowe, Brady House rips a huge double down the line to score a couple runs, or score a run. Dalen Lyle hitting the ball hard. And the MVP of yesterday's game is by far Jacob Young. Guys, I think Jacob Young's low-key getting a little underrated now. His defense has been better recently. Yesterday, Jacob Young with 2 very hard-hit balls for hits, 3 RBI as a whole. If we can get that production out of everyone, my goodness, man. I mean, I get it. The Angels bullpen sucks, but we did this off a pretty solid pitcher in Jose Soriano. I couldn't have asked for a better game yesterday. It's probably one of my favorite Nationals games I've ever attended, just the fact that they were able to respond. Again, it sucked that Jake Irvin was giving up runs, but the fact of the matter is, the Nationals, every time they took a hit, they bounced right back and continued to put it on the Angels. I can't ask for a better night, man. I really can't. The fact of the matter is also, though, why the hell can't we do this when Mackenzie Gore pitches? I'm serious. Who did Mackenzie Gore piss off? I'm so serious. And the boys are battling, The boys are battling. Nats win 15-9, only 14 games under 500. Let's go. Folks, thank y'all for watching our MLB Best Bets here for June 28th. If you haven't yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks. Folks, thank y'all for watching, and Mamba forever.